Good morning.
Yes. Hi, AJ. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you. And thank to the Sangha for giving us the opportunity to be together and share the truth. It seems to me in listening to everybody that we've developed a flawed approach to the self. The ancient Greeks used to consider thinking as an extension of the senses, that it was thinking was a means of processing the senses that we were absorbing the word with. And it has its own place. And yet, within our societies, as we've evolved, and the bombardment of stimuli, media and elsewhere, the mind has become so central, and thinking has become so central in the process of being alive, to being part of a community, that it has dominated our identity and our sense of self. And it is in the path of spirituality and in the path of love and compassion, the compassion for the self and the fact that the body mind is purely acting within its guidance, within the resources that has been given, and it is from a place of compassion. Allows us to see where it fits rather than it being the dominant effort of that dominates our existence. And the loss of the self is part of the awakening, that there is no I. There truly is no I. And it's all the mind's play of taking in all the senses and explaining it, translating it, making it personal, making it alarming, making it exciting. And that's all part of the observation and the awareness of being in a modern society, which has Zoom meetings, that has, scrolls and what have you else. And I think the suffering in this day and age is because of that, is the fact that our mind is so overused. And I think the path of awakening any longer, it seems to be to render the mind for what it really is, rather than everything that we think it is. To just put it as an organ, just like your heart is functioning, just
Yeah.
like your liver is functioning, so is your mind, and love and compassion for that, and the absorption of the data and the information received is just part of the awareness. Do you agree with that approach?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, we have given thinking and mind too much importance. However, the true peace is not going to come from the mind's activity. Now, thinking, the creative thinking, it works beautifully in the world for solving problems. For example, if you have to build something, run an organization, then thinking is your best friend. You can, use that creative capacity to do beautiful things, build amazing things. But here is the catch. Just like a child, when a child discovers that it can use the mind to do something, it just gets clicked instantly. For example, if a child, let's say, creates an amazing figure out of the building blocks, it gets excited immediately. There is thrill, there is rush. Oh, I can do this. Then it starts moving more and more in this direction. Now let me do this. Now let me do that. Then it starts extending that thinking into other areas of life. Oh, so all the importance in the early ages is given to the mind, you know, and it starts, and the basis, when the basis of it is connected to an outcome, right? That how am I being perceived? Then this, it creates continuous separation. Who was that philosopher who said, I think, therefore I am? I don't remember the name of that. Was it Descartes? I think. है ना? It was Descartes, I think. So, but now the mind, it comes to this illusion that I can somehow end all world's problem through thinking, because I have this beautiful, amazing tool. And every mind thinks that it is the most amazing thing in the world, like it is the most intelligent and it can solve all these problems. But every problem exists on a relative plane. For example, we say wars are a problem today. We have wars going on as we speak. But then at the base of it, The problem is of separation because we are divided into countries. As human beings, we have not been very kind to each other. We have hoarded resources, we accumulated resources. There were so many forces that were, now not to blame anybody or any nation, but it's just that the forces that were at play in all of this were beyond human control, and it gave rise to a certain mechanism. So when the problem of geographical boundaries is there, when the problem that there are in there is inequality in shared resources is there, how do you solve the problem of wars? You can't. So what this teaching is bringing you is to the primary illusion, which is the I. That is the primary illusion. Instead of fixing it out there, what I do is I invert it within. The I inverts to itself. Ramana Maharishi would say this. Be with this I. This I is your key. Let it invert into itself and it will merge into its source. Now, it does not mean that it will not come out, because thinking is required for life as we know to happen. But the nature of that thinking will be completely different. This is what Ramesh called as the working mind, as opposed to thinking mind, which is more concerned with the outcome. Let me change this, let me change that, let me make the world better, let me make my relationships better, or this and that. Working mind is simply just allowing the organism to operate. Oh, Krishna is saying Descartes got you back. Descartes got you backwards. Well, ah, okay. He says it's actually I am, therefore I think. Okay, okay. I am, therefore I think. But the I am is still there. This message says thinking is happening. There is no I. There is no I. And that frees oneself. That is the only knowledge that is to be understood. Beyond that, there are no problems. So the objective of this message is not to give answers as such. It is essentially to drive you back into that, to your own natural state. And sometimes it can come across as very cold. It can come across as very boring because there are not any interesting stories as such. It is the same thing being repeated ever and ever again. But as Rameshji said, it's like one's favorite song. When one is in grips of it, one just loves it.